Welcome to another episode of Entre Filmmaker. Today, unboxing and a review of the Canon RF 15-35mm f2.8 IS USM lens for Canon R cameras, but I'm using it actually for my RED Komodo. The RED Komodo comes natively with an RF mount. I want to check all those lenses from Canon, how they perform on a cinema camera, and what kind of picture quality do they produce. Yeah, let's just get started and unbox it, shall we? Okay, here we are. A little foldable lens bag that no one ever uses. I haven't used it ever. And then a lens cap, sun hood. And here is the beautiful piece. Whoa, looks like made and carved from one piece of plastic. Looks awesome. Much more sleek than the previous versions. 3 rings, zoom ring, focus ring, and a programmable ring like the aperture and so on. This is 82mm diameter, so big UV filters. And here's the same thing again. This rare cap can be really put on like in multiple positions, only in one. And that's really bad when you're out in the field, right? And don't want to look at it and just quickly change the lens. You need to look where the lens cap aligns with the red dot. Really bad engineering on Canon's part. I don't like that. Then 2 different buttons. One stabilizer and the other one is for the focus, autofocus. And the first thing I do is putting in a UV filter on. But please don't buy just any UV filter. Buy the best UV filter you can afford. Because you paid all of this money for this expensive lens, and then don't save on stupid glass for $20. A good UV filter should cost somewhere between $50 and $80 in this 82mm size. Quickly cleaning, and here we go. Boom, let's put it on. And here's the sun hood. Is now with a button, so it can't just come off automatically. And here's a comparison with the 24-70 from Canon. Looks almost the same size. Okay, that was the unboxing. Let's take this lens and put it through the grinder and figure out what can it produce. And for that, I'm going today to Washington D.C. No better lens for architecture than a super wide angle lens 15-35, and to check out what does it actually produce in real life scenarios and see how it performs in real life situation. Shall we? Let's go to Washington D.C. All of these shots are handheld with image stabilization on. You can tell that it's just so subtly floating, but it's very nice and steady. Let's have a look how the autofocus works on this cinema camera with this lens. So Z-axis movement, like getting it closer to a face, is really one of the hardest movements for a focus. So as you see, it looks awesome. It performs so fast, so smooth, no jittering between background and foreground. Really awesome with the autofocus here. Here I want to check out the bokeh, the blurriness of the background, and also how lens flare is being performed. You see how beautiful, soft everything is, and the spread of the actual light flare. I love the bokeh here. It's really soft. It's non-textured, really only round. Here again, it's really creamy and dreamy. So I'm back from Washington in my studio. All in all, I'm really impressed with this. It's a great all-around lens if you need a little bit wider for photojournalism. I really love the autofocus, how fast it kind of locks onto the subject. I really love the bokeh. It looks really smooth. It's a very expensive lens, but hey, you get a lot of technology in this package. The zoom ring is has an elevation here, right? The texture is slightly different of the focus ring than the texture of the zoom rings. I think what they could have done is to separate the ring, the focus ring from the zoom ring a little more, because when you're outside in the field, it's very hard to find that, when you're not looking at it, which is which. Maybe after a while, you will get used to it. Stabilization is okay. It's not Steadicam steady, but it's steady enough to, handheld shots. So let's do a quick Steadicam image stabilizer test when I hold this camera towards myself like so.
So here is the 15mm engaged with the image stabilization. Let me point it forward. Trying to hold it as steady as possible. And now the image stabilization is engaged on 35mm, shooting myself and forward.
The image stabilization could be a little stronger, like the Sony cameras and the Sony lenses I now have a very, very Steadicam-like image stabilization. I really love how fast the autofocus is. Mind you that this was not designed for a Komodo, but rather for the Canon R series. I love the bokeh, the blurriness of the background looks really smooth, really like dreamlike. I love that the lens feels solid. It is waterproof, it is dust-proof. That's it for today. I hope you found this interesting and helps you hopefully in your buying decision. Leave me comments what you think or what else I should focus on some specifics. I see you in my next episode. Till then, ciao, ciao.